Everyone was simply astounded with Shiba Inu. They have discovered a huge breakthrough. It's not just about burns, however. This has the potential to alter everything. Perhaps 1 cent price is no longer an unreal dream. The whole community is awakening. The whales are in motion. The Shibarium is booming. What's the truth? It may be much easier than we anticipated. This is not something you will believe, but what's the point? Alright, let me clarify. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. Please note that by the time you see this video, some rates may have changed. Financial advice is not included in this video. In the world of Shiba Inu, a significant development has lately occurred. For a very long time, people thought that aggressive token burns were the only way Shiba Inu could ever achieve 1 cent. And that makes complete sense. In the community, burning coins has always been a huge, thrilling event. It seemed as if the price might go a little closer to that ideal amount each time there was a burn. Burns have been the Shiba Inu army's primary goal since its inception. It took center stage as the primary tactic, subject, and objective. If we burn more, we may succeed. Almost everyone's attention was diverted by that thought, which stuck so strongly. Other processes and other options were barely discussed. The rest of it seemed to be background noise. Here's the problem, however, that way of thinking may have been totally wrong. It turns out, just now, something quite surprising has surfaced. Something else was going on in the background, silently, while everyone was focusing on the burns. Furthermore, this new finding may be the secret to getting to 1 cent. And it's not the burns as we all assumed, which is rather disturbing. Recently, a huge discovery was made. Shiba Inu whale activity increased by 228%. You're correct. Suddenly, massive movements began to occur. Shiba Inu are being moved and gathered by whales in enormous quantities. The whole community erupted when this was reported on the news. Everyone started raising the same question. Is there going to be something? They may even be correct, to be honest. Such an abrupt increase in activity may indicate that a significant event is imminent. Something that all of us missed while we were preoccupied with price drops and burning. A new discovery of the significant advancement in the Shiba Inu ecosystem near the 1 penny aim is mostly to blame for this. In a moment, we will reach that significant finding. However, before we discuss the big announcement today, there is a crucial point to grasp in order to comprehend the whole picture. Like many other digital currencies, Shiba Inu hasn't exactly been performing as many had hoped, despite all the excitement and advancement in the industry. Given the recent market events, particularly the upward trend, the majority of Shiba Inu owners believed the price would have increased significantly by now. Instead, things are just not progressing as we had intended. And that's very annoying. Nothing seems to be changing despite our constant waiting. The fact that things have begun to improve politically for cryptocurrency in general just serves to further complicate matters. In fact, under Donald Trump's leadership, the US government has been promoting cryptocurrency. They're trying to implement clear and equitable rules in the area, something locals have long demanded. The SEC's formal declaration that Shiba Inu and other meme coins are not securities was a significant step. That was a major story at the time. Plenty of people believed that Shiba Inu would become popular. That, however, did not occur. Despite that favorable change in regulations, Shiba Inu has unable to meet expectations, and it's now down 8% in just the last week alone. Additionally, since its high on December 8th, it has dropped by more than 60%. It's difficult. Yes, it is bothersome. It is annoying. Shiba Inu are still falling behind despite all of this, including the community's backing, the burns, and the regulatory victories. And now, suddenly, it's becoming genuine. However, everything is about to change soon. Something far more significant is taking place. The perception of Shiba Inu as a whole is beginning to change. It resembles a wave that is rising. Additionally, it's different this time. You see, it's easy to focus on the bad, when costs decrease or remain unchanged, annoyance takes control. We concentrate on the issues. Even when positive things are occurring, we begin to forget about them. And that kind of thinking might be a bad way to see Shiba Inu. Because in the background, something very genuine and very wonderful has been quietly forming while everyone was focused on what wasn't going well. Shiba Inu's personal blockchain, Shibarium, recently had a 54% increase in transactions, on top of today's enormous whale surge. The surge is significant and not coincidental. The fact that people are beginning to move again is evident. There is an increase in activity and a significant return to Shiba Inu, and things start to get interesting at this point. Some Shiba Inu defenders are still hopeful that the breed may eventually rise all the way to that 1 cent level, despite the recent price decline. Let's examine each of the many individuals who are doubters and advocates, and I'll simply provide you a hint. Today, a significant discovery was made that further supports the supporters' view. We'll start with the doubters. To put that in perspective, Shiba Inu would need to increase by an astounding 75,000% in order to attain that cost from where it is currently. That is enormous. Additionally, if that occurred with the current 589 trillion token supply, the market capitalization would need to be around $5.89 trillion. Lucy, the marketing head for Shiba Inu, has said that she thinks attaining 1 cent is still possible, but not everyone shares her opinion. According to many critics, such objective is simply unachievable unless Shiba Inu suffer severe, violent burns that drastically reduce their supply. However, here is when the intriguing part begins. A completely alternative option that isn't dependent on burns alone is being proposed by some individuals. They think that if Shiba Inu continues to be closely associated with Bitcoin, it may eventually reach 1 cent. It takes advantage of any significant spike in the value of Bitcoin. Additionally, Into the Block research indicates that Shiba Inu has recently shown a high correlation with Bitcoin. Everything changes because of this finding. We have long been locked with the idea that burns are the only possible outcome. Now, however, we're seeing something different, something that's operating already. If Shiba Inu keeps following its example this closely, and Bitcoin continues to soar, the journey to 1 cent may not be as far-fetched as we once believed. All of this implies something simple but effective. Shiba Inu might see a sharp increase in value if the price of Bitcoin rises. And now for the really thrilling part. In the past, Shiba Inu has outperformed Bitcoin during significant runs. Shiba Inu might thus see a huge spike if there is even a little upward movement from Bitcoin. Shiba Inu could use the opportunity to go closer to the much-anticipated 1 penny goal. Naturally, a lot of things would have to coincide for it to occur. Shiba Inu's market value, based on its current supply, would be around $5.89 trillion if it ever reached 1 cent. Bitcoin does not have to lag behind, however. Actually, all Bitcoin would need to maintain its top spot as a cryptocurrency is a market capitalization of more than $5.89 trillion. Additionally, each Bitcoin would be valued around $296,000. This is based on the assumption that Bitcoin would reach the $5.89 trillion mark, and Bitcoin's price would be almost $593,000 per coin if it doubles that amount, reaching an incredible 11 trillion market cap. This is a 516% gain over the current price. Yes, all of this sounds thrilling, but we must be honest. Cryptocurrency has no assurances. It is not as certain that Shiba Inu will drop 1 cent even if Bitcoin rises. However, this is what makes the Shiba Inu community unique and why the narrative is far from finished. They've heard all of this before, so they don't care about the doubt. Shiba Inu army continue to arrive, continue to construct, and continue to have faith. Their drive stems from being a part of something greater than charts alone. Along with decentralization and community-driven power, they also believe in disproving others. Their dedication and devotion make them almost indestructible. Despite the challenges and the harsh criticism, the Shiba Inu community continues to advance to heights no one ever imagined. But how do you feel about this? Post a comment below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it, and subscribe to the channel.